All right, we are live. Let's start it up.
All right, are you Miss Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Miss Baker, you've been charged with operating a vehicle without insurance. That bond is 1,000. Driving with a suspended license is 1,500. Driving on canceled or suspended registration is 500, and failure to maintain lane is 100. Your total bond is $3,100. If you don't make your bond, your next court date is on November the 19th. If you make bond, you'll get notice in the mail when it come back to court. I reviewed your application for an attorney and I've approved it. Do you have any questions?
Can I get a signature bar?
You didn't qualify for one based on your criminal history. You had what was that, a FTA or something on this driver's license charge? I already checked for you. Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
All right, thank you. Take care. All right,
Guilty.
next. What's your name?
Hello, Barbara. How are you doing
Ms.
tonight?
Gomez, what's your relationship to Jennifer Parker?
She's my roommate.
Oh, okay. So one of you all gonna have to leave the residence, and if I'm just gonna pick at random unless one of you are gonna voluntarily go.
Work from home, and I'm an insurance agent, so I have to be at my address because
Can you
every
all bring up Miss Parker, please?
I didn't.
You say bring up Miss Parker, Your Honor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because if not, I'm gonna throw a coin. We can't
Man,
figure it out.
this is gonna be good. Two
All right,
fighting
Miss
roommates.
Parker, you and Miss Gomez are gonna have to leave the residence since you're both being charged with co-defendants with battery. Are you gonna willingly go, or do I just need to flip a coin?
I guess you'll have to flip the coins, ma'am, because
All
I have kids at the house as well. Your kids are
right.
never there. You're never there. I'm the one that has
So
no.
I'm sorry. So now bonds are gonna go up, and I'm gonna revoke them if we argue in court. All right, flipping the coin. Miss Parker, here's a tail.
Yeah.
All right, it's heads. So Miss Gomez, you can remain. Miss Parker, you'll have to leave out until something else happens in the future. Miss Gomez, your bond is $3,000. Your next court date is on November the 19th. You are to have no contact with Jennifer Parker. Do you understand that?
Thank you. Yes.
All right, and I've appointed you an attorney to represent you based on your applications. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right,
Do
thank
I
you.
do I have opportunity to go get any of my things?
You do. I'm checking the box now on your bond order that you'll make an appointment with the sheriff's office. They will escort you. You make an appointment. You get any undisputed personal property with them. Your bond is also $3,000. Your next court date is on the 19th, and I've also approved you for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any other questions?
What is my charge?
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
My charge.
Simple battery. No contact with Angelina Gomez. I said that earlier. You might not have heard. All right. You're welcome. Take care.
Your Honor. Your
Yes,
Honor.
ma'am.
Um,
Agreed. It should be rock paper scissors. It should be competitive between the two defendants.
her son,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
her son, she,
Sorry, guys. I'm very under the weather today. That's why I couldn't stream yesterday. Very, very sick. But the show must go on.
in the hospital.
They brought her back to the hospital because they brought her back to jail before we started court.
They did?
They did. So y'all have to find her because she has to be first appeared today.
Okay.
She's been out of the hospital for about three hours.
Okay. Well, when the other deputy get back, I'll tell her to go get her.
All right, no problem. We have plenty of other people to do. We'll wait on Mr. Khan.
Okay.
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Kayandra Madai Labran.
Um,
DV? Probably DV.
Gonna be the longest name you're gonna see today, man.
No, we have some other long ones with me, and you the longest female name. All right, you've been charged with possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. That bond is 1,000. You are also charged with trafficking marijuana. Your bond was not set because it cannot be set by law. Your next court date is going to be on November the 18th. Your bond hearing date is going to be on November the 22nd. Be considered for bond. Did you fill out a court appointed attorney form? Yeah, I see it. All right. Based on your application, I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
See if I got a fever.
Any questions? All right. Thank you. Take care. All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Elena Sibley.
Ms. Sibley, you were charged with criminal damage to property in the second degree. Your bond is $4,000. The next court date is
All
going to be
good.
on November 18th. If you do not make your bond, if you make your bonds, you'll get notice in the mail when to come back to court. I've appointed you an attorney to
Got a lot of
represent you
people
based
in.
on your application. Do you have any
Oh wait, this
questions?
thing's lagging. How many people we got? 16 people.
No? All right. Thank you. Take
Where's
care.
everyone in chat? Hello, Thomas. Hello, Wings. Brad. Barbara. I know we got more people here. Who else is here?
Here's her son, Your Honor.
One more.
Shauna, you were in jail this morning? Which jail?
All right. Are you Angela, her son? All right, Mr. Son, you have two different warrants. One is a misdemeanor, one is a felony. Were you present when I went over the rights that everyone have? Are you in the medical area? Did you hear it? Okay. The volume off? I guess your microphone might be low on the computer. All right, so let me go over the rights that you have since you didn't hear that. You have the right, obviously, to remain silent. We are live on YouTube. You do have a right to the presumption of innocence. You have the right to have an attorney assist you. You have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. You have the right to also compel witnesses to come to court on your behalf, to testify on your behalf. You have a right to an indictment if you're charged with felonies, and you have a right to accusation if you are charged with a misdemeanor, and you have the right to have an attorney assist you throughout the entirety of the proceedings. The next court date that you will get will be your preliminary hearing court date. That court date is where the state would have to prove that it is probable that you have committed the crimes as alleged in the warrants that have been issued against you. If you have one misdemeanor warrant, that court date is on November the 19th, and you have a
Wait, Shauna, what were the charges?
felony warrant, and that next court date would be November the 18th. The first warrant that you have, well, and then you can make your bond on the misdemeanor by going through a bonding company. Bonding company takes about 15% of the total amount of bond, or you can use cash. You would post that directly to the sheriff's office. That money would be returned at the end of your case, minus some administrative fees, or you can use real property. The property would have to have 3 times the amount of equity in order to use it. On your misdemeanor warrant, it's theft by deception. That bond is $25,000. You can't have any contact with Sarethia Janae Madison as a condition of being granted bond on the misdemeanor case. You understand that? All right. And you weren't able to fill out the court-appointed attorney form because you were not available earlier. Are you currently employed anywhere?
I own my own business.
And approximately how much money do you earn each month?
I consider, I have 13 companies, so I own a considerable.
You have to put some on the application. You can give me an estimate for your monthly earnings that you earn.
About 60,000.
Okay. All right. Based on that information, you have to hire your own attorney. I'm gonna mark that
60,000 a month?
Second warrant that you have is a felony warrant, and that preliminary hearing court date is on November the 18th. The bond on that warrant has been denied. Your next court date for the bond will be on November the 22nd, and you cannot have any contact with William Taylor, and you'll have to hire your own attorney based on the income that you just provided to the court. Do you have any questions?
My bond was in
Yes, denied on the felony charge. The misdemeanor one is 25,000. All right, any other questions?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
The hell was she
All right,
doing?
so that's all the females, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, go back and six or five.
Okay. Are you Mr. Barnes? What's your name? Bradley. Jamarius Bradley? All right. Mr. Bradley, you were charged with three counts of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony and armed robbery. Your bonds have been denied. Your next court date is on November the 18th. You have a bond hearing date on November the 22nd. If you do not make, well, on the 22nd, if they don't reach the bond before then, I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Say that again.
I said, did you have any questions?
I'm talking about the bond.
You don't have, your bonds have been denied, so you don't have any bonds set. All right, anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Take care, sir.
I think he needs a doctor. He clearly got beat up.
All right, what's your name? The microphone is low, so you have to speak up.
Giovanni Barnes.
All right, Mr. Barnes, you were charged with speeding. That bond is 500. Driving while your license is suspended is 1,500. Possession of marijuana is 3,000. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony is 3,000. And possession of drug-related objects is 500. Your total bond is $8,500. Your next court date is on November the 18th. If you don't make your bond, if you make bond, you'll get notice in the mail when it come back to court. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Okay, 6,500.
8,500 is the total bond.
8,500.
Yes. All right, thank you. All right, next.
That dude's definitely in a gang. He was doing some drug trafficking.
Lamar Belton.
All right. Mr. Belton, you've been charged with possession of marijuana more than 1 ounce. That bond is 3,000. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is 4,000. Possession of a knife or firearm during the commission of certain crimes is 1,000. Total bond is $8,000. Your next court date is November the 18th. If you do not make your bond, if you make bond, you'll get notice in the mail when it come back to court. And I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, it sounded much. You said $8,000?
Yeah, total.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, what's your name, sir?
Where the hell did he go?
All right, what's your name?
What
happened to the other guy?
Dyson Blissett?
No.
All right. Mr. Blissett, based on the paperwork, didn't find probable cause to keep your case, so you were just charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. That charge has been dismissed. You'll be released sometime today. All right, thank you.
He beat the system. He did it.
No.
All right, what's your name?
Joshua Blissett.
All right, Joshua Blissett. So you're charged for the.
You know the guy that sat back down. He's in for some serious stuff if he doesn't want to face the judge yet.
The drugs was dismissed. You still have the improper display of a tag. That bond is $100. If you pay that bond, you'll be released from custody for your for the tag. Do you have any questions?
The other 100.
Yes, $100 bond on the tag. I dismissed the drug charge for the same reason as your brother. It's insufficient probable cause. You have any other questions?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Here he is.
All right. What's your name?
Adam Bond.
All right, Mr. Bond, you were charged with improper brake light. That bond is $100. Driving on a suspended license is $1,500. Possession of marijuana is 1,000. Possession of drug-related objects is 1,000, and operating a vehicle without insurance is 1,000. Your total bond is $4,600. Your next court date is on November the 18th. If you do not make your bond, if you make bond, you'll get notice in the mail when it come back to court. Do you have any questions?
Oh, now, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, does he have a court-appointed attorney?
I'm gonna send all this stuff over. He does. All right, what's your name, sir?
Darius Brooks.
All right, Mr. Brooks, you were charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That bond has been denied. You have battery, family violence. That bond is 5,000. Cruelty to children in the second degree is 5,000. Simple battery is $5,000. Your next court date is on November the 18th. You'll have a bond hearing date on November the 22nd. And there's a note on here that says that you refuse to complete the application to be considered for a court-appointed attorney. Are you gonna hire your own attorney, or did you want to be considered? Are you gonna hire your own attorney, or did you want to be considered at this time?
I wanted to be considered at this time.
All right, are you working anywhere?
Yes, I'm working. I'm working in DHL staff mark, and I have
All right.
and I have a apartment. I just got apartment.
Approximately how much money do you earn each month?
24, 25.
All right, based on that, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, do I have a bond?
Not on the aggravated assault. You have a bond of $5,000 on the other three charges.
So if I make bond,
You won't be able to bond out because you don't have one set on the aggravated assault. Your lawyer will have to talk to the alleged victim and assist the district attorney before they can determine what amount is appropriate. So we can't do that today at first appearance based on the allegation.
so how do if I have the witnesses there?
So that's why you have a lawyer, so that the witnesses, the lawyer, everybody can talk to the DA's office and your lawyer, so they can come to a bond before that court date. We do it all the time, but we can't do it at first appearance because we don't have any of the information here yet. All those people have to be spoken to. You're not gonna get a bond today on that.
So you gonna assign me a lawyer today? You gonna
Not
do-
on the aggravated assault.
No,
Not today.
No, I'm asking you gonna assign me a lawyer then? That's what you said.
I've already signed the paperwork.
Okay.
It's already approved.
So there's somebody gonna be talking to me then, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, do you not have the name? You don't have the name?
No, this just happened like in 1 second ago, right? So how would I have the name yet?
So you just basically, instead of me representing myself, you just gave me a lawyer. You made
No. I asked you, did you want to be considered? And you said yes. You don't have to have one. It's up to you.
I'm saying,
Do you want a lawyer to represent you or not?
no, because I was trying to get my
You said no.
I was trying to
don't
get
want
charged.
Yes. No, you don't want one, or yes, you do. It's real. It's easy. Yes or no.
How do I get a bond? What you mean?
You don't have aggravated assault on the
I'm
other.
asking you about an
Oh,
attorney.
man.
Do you want an attorney to represent you at no cost? Or are you going to represent yourself?
Send the attorney.
All right, next. All right, what's your name, sir?
Xavier Current.
Kevin, you next.
All right. You have two different charges as well. You have an armed robbery charge. The law does not allow me to set a bond on an armed robbery charge at first appearance. That bond has been denied. Your next court date is on the 18th of November. You'll have a bond hearing date on November the 22nd. I've approved your application for a court-appointed attorney. You have a second set of charges where you have 3 aggravated assault charges. Those bonds have been denied. You have a reckless conduct charge. That bond is $25,000, and the cruelty to children charges, which are 3 of those. Those bonds have been denied. Criminal damage in the first degree your bond has been denied, and possession of a knife or a weapon during the commission of a crime, that bond has also been denied. Your next court date for all those charges as well will be November the 18th, and you have a bond hearing date on the 22nd.
This
And
dude's
I've
never getting
appointed an
out.
attorney to represent you on those charges as well. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. How, like, hold
All
on.
right.
You could reset with everything you just said.
You don't have any bond set on any of your charges.
How many charges I got?
You have armed robbery. You have
What's up, Joker? I'm not actually tired. I'm just really sick. Way too many ads? What do you mean? There shouldn't be any ads playing. Are there ads playing? I think YouTube might have changed how it works, but I haven't put any ads in.
three aggravated assaults.
How do I get aggravated assault?
You know, the
I tell you, hold on. I'm gonna open. I'll let you know. You have a right to know what you charged with.
Look,
I'm
after
tell you. I told you to listen. If you don't, did you want to hear it or not?
Okay.
You said no or yes. I can't hear you.
I said okay to what you were saying. I was saying to myself.
You want to hear the charge?
Yeah.
All right. It alleges on October the 13th, 2024, you did at 6001 Trammell Road, Building 20, Apartment 78 in Morrow, Georgia, commit the offense of aggravated assault when you intentionally, by using a firearm against Emonte Moore, Andrew Gatlin, you shooting multiple times while outside of causing residual gunshot wound to Aaliyah Ransomoon in the right thigh when she was inside of her residence, which resulted in serious bodily injury. So those are the three bases for the aggravated assault. So did you have any other questions?
That's don't make. How did I get charged with that when I wasn't even out there on the 13th?
All right, so that's not a question about the charges. All right, anything else, sir?
Yeah, I'm not sure how ads work on live streams. I know how they work on videos, because then I can manually do it. I usually just let it autoplay some, but I don't know how it works on live streams. If they're annoying, I'll take a look at it for next stream, but not really sure what the settings are. Man, losing my voice.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Stephen Cabins, man.
All right, you've been charged with possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. That bond is $1,000. Driving with no license is $1,000. Use or possession of drug-related objects is $1,000, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is $4,000. Your total bond is $7,000. Your next court date is on November the 18th. If you make bonds, you'll get notice in the mail when they come back to court. And I've approved your application for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
Oh man, not again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, how you doing?
All right, what's your name?
My name's Clint Holt.
Oh,
Wawa episodes? What's that? You talking about?
Mr. Polk, you were charged with battery. Your bond is $3,000. As a condition of bond, you can't have any contact with Javier Harper. Do you understand that?
With who?
The person that you are alleged to have hit, which is Javier Harper. Do you understand that? If you don't even know who it is, that should be easy to do. Your next court date is on November the 19th. If you make your bond, you'll get notice in the mail when they come back to court. Let's see here. Based on your application, I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. So if I make bond today, can I get out?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care. What's your name, sir?
Cut that mouth.
Travis Coleman.
Travis Coleman?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Coleman, you've been charged with violating a family violence order. That bond is $15,000. And you were charged with criminal trespass family violence. That bond is $10,000. If you go back, I'm sorry.
I was trying to understand what what did I have that for? 'Cause I didn't, them charges, I don't understand where they come from.
Okay, I'll tell you. It says here on May 29th, 2024, you did commit the act of family violence, violating the family violence order by going back to the residence of Lex Depoy without the authorization of her, the offender, or it didn't say, it just says Lex Depoy. The offender also made unlawful entry inside the residence without authorization with the purposes of harassing the victim. The offender also committed this act in violation of the Clayton County bond order, which is 2024 CR 01273 SM. The offender also previously lived at the.
Yeah, it's definitely auto placing the ads then, because I'm not doing anything. But I'll turn that off for next stream, because I don't want them. They shouldn't be running ads during the stream. I think before and after, but I don't need anything during the stream.
Residence with the victim in this incident did occur in Clayton County. So that's the basis of the allegation.
I never had a bond order. I never, I released. I didn't have a bond order at all. That's something.
No, it was a bond order. It's definitely a bond order. All right. You cannot go back to that location as a condition of this bond. If you go back to 999 Morrow Road in Morrow, Georgia, then you may not get a bond next time. Do you understand that, Mr. Coleman?
I don't understand, because I never had a bond to have.
Oh, did you hear me earlier when I said all I'm here to let you know what you've been charged with your bond amount?
I'm sorry.
There's nobody here to dispute this. It's not a trial today. So that's a defense that you would have to present at your trial. This all we do today is let you know what the charges are. So you might be telling them the truth, and they might resolve the case. But for right now, I don't have any different information, and I have a warrant signed by a judge and sworn out by a police officer that they have evidence that you were at that address when you were not supposed to be there. That's what it is today. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other additional questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Take care. What's your name?
Take one home.
Make sure to take some photos at Wawa. Send it to us.
Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, you were charged with disorderly conduct. That bond is $1,500. Criminal trespass is $1,000. Public drunkenness is $1,000. The total bond is $3,500. Your next court date is on November the 19th. If you make your bond, you'll get notice in the mail when to come back to court. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
I do need you to repeat one more time the last part you said. If I do the bond out,
Total is $3,500.
no, not the bond, but when I do bond out, the court date after.
They'll mail it to you, so you don't have to come back to court on that day.
Oh, I just figured out how to turn off ads.
All right, you're welcome.
There we
Take
go.
care.
Now I can play them manually. Whenever we have a break, I'll run an ad.
All right, next up,
But there's no breaks on bond court.
what's your name, sir?
Barrington Holland.
Baron. Holland.
Holland,
Oh,
H-O-L-A-N-D.
I found it. All right, you were charged with speeding. That bond is $500. Driving with a suspended license is $1,500. So your total bond is $2,000. Your next court date is on November the 19th. If you make your bond, you will get notice in the mail when to come back to court. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions, Mr.
Yeah,
Holland?
I got a question. Can I make the bond? Can I pay the bond myself?
You would have to get somebody, because you're physically in the jail, you'd have to get somebody to do it on your behalf.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, next up,
Excuse me, y'all. May I say hey to my children? They online right now. Hey, babies. Hey, what?
Hey,
all right, what's your last name, sir?
Jones?
Is it Kalanda Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Jones, you were charged with robbery. That bond has been denied. Your next court date is on November the 18th. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. You have a bond hearing date on the 22nd.
Excuse me,
Do
ma'am.
you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. I wasn't there, Your Honor. I didn't do anything. So I was like, the man who got burned out.
Mr. Jones. So just like I just told the person before, you see there's nobody here except me and you. So we can't hash out the details today. They'll be hashed out on your preliminary hearing date. So you'll have to present that defense that you were not there on November 18th. I've appointed you a lawyer, so you may actually get a bond set prior to that court date. We sign them all the time. But for purposes of today, your bond is denied based on the allegations and your criminal history. Do you have any questions?
And to my allegations and my criminal history.
I said, based on your allegations and your criminal history, your bond has been denied. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Can I do my next court date is when?
November 18th.
I gotta be here until November 18th.
No, not necessarily. You may get a bond before that date. I've appointed you a lawyer to work on that for you.
Can I please have the information now? Because I gotta get back to work. I have 6 children.
I don't have the lawyers haven't been, the longer we talk, the paperwork is literally right here in my hand. So the lawyer won't get it until we stop talking.
I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, kids.
It's all right. I'm just telling you, like, they won't even get this paperwork till we finish court. So the longer we go back and forth, the longer this lawyer not gonna get this paperwork. All right, next up. What's your name, sir? Did you say Damon Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith, you were charged with possession of a controlled substance. The bond is 3,000. Speeding is 500. Tail light violation is 100. Seatbelt violation is 100. Your total bond is $3,700. Your next court date is on November the 18th. If you make bond, you get notice in the mail when to come back to court, and I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you. All right, next. Mr. Stafford? You said Stafford, right? Okay. All right, Mr. Stafford, you were charged with driving under the influence. Your bond is $4,000. Your next court date is on November the 19th. If you make bond, you'll get notice in the mail when it come back to court. And are you working anywhere right now?
Okay.
All right, approximately how much money do you earn each month?
I'm self-employed, so I construct the one, so it can vary at different prices.
You just need an average.
Approximately about 25 to 3,000.
All right, based on that information, I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Oh, man.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, next up.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. What's your name, sir?
My name is Sean Stabile, Sean Anthony Stabile.
They didn't provide any paperwork for you.
Yeah,
Your Honor, he shows out the bond on my calendar.
Oh, they said you had first appearance yesterday. You were in court. I remember you. Did you make bond? Somebody bonded you out?
She bonded me out, but they said I had a warrant from Riverdale, and they messed up in the front when they never put it in the system to contact for a resetting the court date or anything. But I already bonded out. But you
Okay.
get to go to court or anything here. This is my first time.
Okay. Yeah, so they have you as not here. So
Okay, so I go home.
yeah, you're supposed to. So you'll be going home sometime today.
All right, if I've been bonded out, okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right.
All right, next up, what's your name? I'm sorry, you said Jeffrey Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Mr. Thomas, you were charged with battery. That bond is 3,000. Simple battery is 3,000. So your total bond is $6,000. You can't have any contact with Jesse Howard or Floyd Denmark. You understand that?
I got a question, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
So like basically like I'm like so I have 8 mental health problems plus an
Okay,
autism.
hold on one second. Let me finish saying what I'm saying, then I'll let you ask your questions. So you understand you can't have any contact with Jesse Howard and Floyd Denmark?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, all right. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. If you don't make bond, your next court date is on the 19th. If you bond out, you'll get your court date, and I've approved your application for an attorney. Now, what's that question you had for me? What's the question you had, Mr. Thomas?
Honestly, it's none. It's straight. It's straight.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you. Take care. All right, next up. What's your name?
Contagious Thomas.
All right, sir, you were charged with possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce. That bond is 1,000, and possession of drug-related objects is 1,000. So your total bond is $2,000. Your next court date is on November the 19th. If you bond out, you'll get notice and then when to come back to court. Are you working anywhere right now?
No, man. Could you repeat that again? You kind of like broke up a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that too. Based on that information, I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, what's your name, sir?
Reginald Trey.
All right, Mr. Trailer, you were charged with 2 counts of entering an automobile. Your bond is $25,000 on each count, so your total bond is $50,000. You cannot have any contact with Gabriella Olivo and Stephanie or Andrews Heineke. You cannot go back to the farmers market located at 16 Forest Parkway in Forest Park, Georgia. You also cannot go back to International Discount Mall located at 4140 Jonesboro Road in Forest Park, Georgia. Do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes.
All right, your next court date is on November the 18th. If you don't bond out, if you make your bond, you'll get notice in the mail when to come back to court. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you.
Hey, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Stacy Dawson. He's the TOT. He's going to another county.
You said who is?
Stacy Dawson.
I didn't even have a Dawson.
And Cedric Isom, he bunded out.
Okay.
Okay, and here's the fugitive.
Okay.
Smash that freaking like button.
All right. Are you Mr. Oola County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So they provided the copy of your warrant today. So you have all the same rights as everyone else except.
Do you guys want Hernando County to make a comeback? I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Only difference is you have been charged with being a fugitive from justice from the state of Texas. You don't have any charges pending here in Clayton County, nor can you contest your innocence or your guilt here in Georgia. You would have to do that in Texas. So you can contest your extradition or you can waive it. If you decide that you want to contest your extradition, you can challenge 4 things: whether the documents are valid, whether the crime exists for which you're charged with, whether you are the person actually named in the extradition request, and whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. If you decide that you want to contest it, you'll be committed to the Clayton County Jail for an initial period of 30 days, and you would have a formal hearing on November 18th. You can voluntarily waive your extradition hearing and return back to Texas. It does speed up the process, but I can't tell you the exact
James,
date
what's up?
when they would come and pick you up if you did decide that you were going to waive your extradition. So, do you want to contest it or do you want to waive it?
I wanna waive it, but I have two questions, ma'am.
Okay, what's your question?
I wanna know, can you tell me the county in Texas?
Yeah, I can tell you. I'll read it to you. So it says here that you are wanted for theft of property more than 150,000, but less than 300,000, which is a felony.
All right, you know what? We're gonna take a break from that, and we're gonna go. We got a quick Hernando. I just pulled up Hernando's feed from today.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me at the county jail?
Hernando County.
Excellent. I'm Judge Bell, and
Oh,
you're here
wow.
for first appearance.
Their
The
audio
purpose of first
sucks.
appearance is so that you're informed of the charges against you. I will determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause means it is more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations, and that presumption of innocence will stay with you through every course of the proceedings.
Didn't get a
Unless
notification.
the
Hit
office
that
of the
notification
state
bell.
attorney is able to prove the allegations
I don't know where it
against
is,
you
but it's, I
beyond
think
and to the
it's
exclusion
below
of a reasonable doubt.
somewhere.
I will set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, which is your bail or bond. In most cases, you have a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit under the warrant that led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised, lower, or remain the same, and whether or not there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you would like the services of the Office of the Public Defender, I'll gladly appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're advised that you have a right to have contact with folks on the outside. That includes family, friends, and counsel. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you have an absolute right to remain silent, and I encourage you to do so, for there is an assistant state attorney here with us in the courtroom this morning, and if you tend to say something to incriminate yourself, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. Now may I please have
Yeah,
each and every
fire
one of you
alarm.
raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. When you hear your name, you can step forward to the podium. Shauna Brown. Good morning, ma'am. May I please have your date of birth?
April 1st, 2001.
Thank you so much. I have for you today two charges, possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. You're going to represent yourself, hire a private attorney. Would you like the services of the Office of the Public Defender?
Public Defender.
Yes, ma'am. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. And state, does she have any history?
Yes, Your Honor. 2023, providing false name to law enforcement. 23, Dwellis. 23, possession of marijuana and possession of paraphernalia. 23, burglary of a conveyance. 23, criminal mischief, $1,000 or more. And 2022, false report to a law enforcement authority.
Thank you. And Ms. Brown, I have an address for you on Shane Street in Brooksville.
Yes,
And how long have you lived there?
about 30 years.
And do you have family here in Hernando County?
Yes,
Are you currently working?
yes.
What do you do for work?
I work at Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm going to set your bond into count 1 at $1,000. Set your bond as to count 2 at $1,000. We're going to see you back here in court on November 13th at 9 a.m. in courtroom C here in the courthouse in Brooksville.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Ms. Buckland? Good morning, ma'am. May I please have your date of birth?
7/21/81.
Thank you so much. I have for you today a charge of
Thank you.
assault. If there's probable cause for that charge, you're going to represent yourself, hire a private attorney, or would you like the services of the Office of the Public Defender?
A public defender.
Yes, ma'am. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
There's no history, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge, she's got 2 days in, and this is some soup thrown against the wall. I don't know if this is something she might be able to do with adjudication and court costs.
Or since this is her first time in trouble, maybe she should wait to arraign in it. business day at that point.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Sorry, I had to grab something.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I have an address for you on West Sunnybrook Court in Crystal River.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a good address for you?
Alright, I think we're gonna have to switch back feeds. This one is pretty slow, and we're losing viewers. People
And it
don't
looks
like
like this is from Midland County,
audio
Texas.
sucks.
And this was issued on August the 28th, 2024.
So my lawyer wanted me to ask, because I've never been to Texas, and they wanted me to ask those two information so he can gather more evidence to help me with the case.
Okay, yeah, so he just tell him to contact Midland County Sheriff's Office in Texas. That's who issued the warrant. It's for theft of property.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, so just, they have the papers there, and just sign each one of those papers, and they'll get those to Texas to expedite the process.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, that's everybody, right?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Judge Savage.
Oh,
You're here for
we're
your first
Osceola.
appearances. In addition to what you heard on the video that was played, I will remind you that if we know what your next court dates are, we will tell you. You'll likely, but not everybody, you'll likely hear two different dates. The first one will be if you're still in custody. The second one would be if you are released from custody. For example, you get an order of release, or you post your bond, or something else happens. You don't have two court dates. It's one if in custody, one if you're out. If you get confused, just please contact the clerk's office and they can tell you exactly when that date will be, or of course you can talk to your lawyer. If we say that your court date is on demand, that means it hasn't been scheduled yet. So if you do get out of custody, make sure you check with the clerk's office for updates and to give them your correct contact info so that you don't get a failure to appear for court. If you are in custody when your next court date rolls around, you'll either be seen on a video like we're doing now, or you'll get transported over to the courthouse, okay? Some of you have already filled out affidavits for the public defender. The clerk will let me know if you've been qualified. If you haven't filled one out, you can still fill one out. Just, I'll ask you what you want to do for a lawyer, let me know. You can hire a private lawyer if you want to. It's your choice. I just want you to tell me how you want to proceed so we know what information to give you. Beyond that, we're just gonna go ahead and start, and I'd ask for appearances from the state, please.
Brenna Jones for the state. Jay Lewis for the state.
Thank you. And for the public defender's office, please.
Janelle Clark. And Michelle Quatino with the public defender's office.
Thank you. And from pretrial release.
Crystal Osborne with pretrial release.
Thank you.
Boom.
So the first ones that I have are Spanish interpreter cases. So I'll call for the interpreter. Jose Alarcon.
Approved.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Sandra Bryan, Spanish interpreter. I've already been sworn in today.
Thank you. It's Judge Savage. I'm doing first appearances, so we're not using the podium. We're just doing the overhead.
Okay, Your Honor. Very
Thank
good.
you. The first person I have is Jose Alarcon, and I'll give the interpreter two case numbers, 24 CT 5038 and 5039.
Okay.
If you can ask Mr. Alarcon if he can hear you, please.
Sí, buenas tardes, señora Alarcón. ¿Me puede escuchar? Señora Alarcón. Okay, yes, we are. He can hear me, Your Honor, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. You are here for your first appearance.
Buenas tardes, señor. ¿Se encuentra aquí para su primera comparecencia?
You were arrested for driving without a valid license.
Usted fue arrestado conduciendo sin una licencia válida.
And driving under the influence.
Y también por estar conduciendo bajo los efectos.
I've read the affidavit and there is probable cause.
Yo leí el affidavit y sí hay causa probable.
PTR, any other history?
¿Tiene algún antecedente? PTR.
Yes, Your Honor. He has one prior arrest out of Florida.
Sí, él tiene un arresto previo de Florida.
In June of 2023 for battery by strangulation, which was adjudicated withheld.
Sí, fue un caso de agresión física por estrangulación donde se suspendió el fallo.
He also has 2 alien inadmissibilities from 2019 and 2023.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Did you say alien?
Yes.
I didn't hear.
Yes.
También tiene 2 casos adicionales de extranjero del 2019.
Where he was removed from the U.S. both times.
Donde usted fue expulsado de Estados Unidos ambas veces.
And he also has 1 arrest out of Louisiana for aggravated assault.
Y también tiene un arresto de Louisiana por agresión física con agravantes y agresión física.
And the disposition is unknown.
Se desconoce la disposición.
Sir, how long? I'm sorry. Go ahead, whoever was talking. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard somebody else talk. Sir, how long have you lived in Winter Haven?
Mire, señor, ¿cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo en Winter Haven?
1 año. Eso que acaba de hablar, esos son lo que de a mí me acusan, okay?
1 year. Those are things that they accused me of.
Correct. I know that not everything resulted in a conviction. They're just things that come up under your name.
Sí, es correcto. Sabemos que no estamos hablando de condenas, sino de los casos que salen cuando se pone su nombre.
Bond in the no valid DL will be $500.
La fianza en el caso de no tener licencia válida será $500.
Bond in the DUI will stay at $1,000.
La fianza en el caso de manejar bajo los efectos se queda en $1,000.
Do not possess or consume any alcohol.
No puede poseer ni consumir bebidas alcohólicas.
Do not drive without a valid license.
Y no maneje sin tener una licencia válida.
Your next court dates will be
October 31st, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B. If out on bond, December 13th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Si está en libertad, su próxima fecha será en el día 31 de octubre a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4B. Si está detenido será el 31 de diciembre.
Thank you.
Okay, gracias.
The next one is Edison Ferrero.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay, 24 CT 5042 bonded.
Okay.
And besides the ASL Spanish interpreter, those were the only 2 that I had for Spanish.
Yes, Your Honor, that's all we had.
Thank you to the interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Okay.
All right, John Biggs.
No application out of county.
Your Honor, he refused, Your Honor.
All right, for the record, Mr. Biggs was arrested on a warrant for Orange County. He has a bond. He refused to participate. He's waived his right to appear. Bond will be stayed. Michael Conyers.
No application out of county.
She's being transported to the hospital, Your Honor.
For the record, this defendant was arrested on a Pinellas County warrant. Bond is set at 0. Does the public defender have any opinion? Would you like it reset? I know that we don't typically appoint on this one, but you said she's going to the hospital.
No, Your Honor, it's out of county, so I'm assuming the warrant was set at 0 by an out of county judge.
I'm sorry. I heard somebody say she's being transported to the hospital. I apologize if that wasn't you.
No, that was me, Officer Osborne, with pretrial release. She is being transported to the hospital, Your Honor.
Okay, I knew I heard it, but
Yes.
I wasn't looking up, so I wasn't seeing who was talking. I just heard a voice.
No problem.
All right,
You guys
so
smash that like button, please.
Officer
Thank you.
Osborne, do you know if the plan is to bring her back to Osceola before Polk comes to get her?
I'm assuming so, Your Honor, since our correctional officers will be there at the hospital with her.
Okay, so reset for IAs unless Polk County comes before we can see her, but only reset when she's available. So we'll reset her so that way she could be told what's going on, unless Polk County comes and gets her ahead of time. Jason Gilberry.
No application out of county.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Jason Gilberry.
Thank you. Mr. Gilberry, you were arrested on a warrant out of Highlands County. That warrant came already with a 0 bond, so I can't give you a bond on that. we'll let Highlands County know that we have you and they'll come and pick you up.
Okay,
If you need a court-appointed lawyer, they'll appoint one for you over there, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Juan Moreno Romero.
No application out of county.
Oh, the child.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Juan Moreno Romero.
Sir, you were arrested on a warrant from Polk County. The warrant came with a 0 bond. We'll let Polk County know that you're with us and they'll come pick you up. If you need a lawyer, they can appoint one for you down there, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, that was
William
quick.
Osborne.
No application out of county.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
William Osborne.
Mr. Osborne, you were arrested on a warrant out of Volusia County. They set your bond at 0. It looks like it may be a violation of probation charge. We'll let them know that you were arrested and they'll come pick you up, okay? And they'll give you a lawyer there if you need one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uhuru Alexander.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Uhuru Alexander.
Mr. Alexander, you're arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. You do have a bond. It's $5,000. Do not possess or consume alcohol or controlled substances. Next court date will be
October 31st, 8:30 a.m. at courtroom 4B. If out on bond, December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Thank you. Idris Ben Hachum.
PD approved.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Idris Ben Hashum.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear. Your bond is set at 0. You have a public defender appointed. Next court date.
October 31st, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B. If out on bond, November 8th at 10 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Yeah, he won't be out on bond. He's got a 0 bond. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Jose Diaz.
No application.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Jose Diaz.
Thank you. Just for a note, PTR's initial appearance info sheet says FTA across the top. It's not an FTA, it's a VOP. Yep, there's a VOP warrant attached. So, Mr. Diaz, you were arrested for violation of probation. Your bond is set at 0. What are you going to do for a lawyer?
I have a lawyer.
Who is your lawyer, sir?
Tom Cassigan.
Okay, thank you. Your next court date will be?
December 23rd, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Thank you. Jonathan Guerra.
No PD application.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name, please.
His name is-
Jonathan Guerra.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Guerra, you were arrested on a warrant. There are 5 counts. The judge who signed the warrant found probable cause, so I don't have to make that determination. That judge already did. I read it also, though, for context. The 5 counts are armed robbery with a weapon, grand theft under $5,000, battery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and false imprisonment. State, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. The state has filed a pretrial detention motion in this case. May I
Okay.
vote?
Thank you.
So we would be asking that the court holds him no bond pursuant to the statute on count 1. He is entitled to a bond. On the other counts, we would ask that there be no contact with the victim and no contact with the co-defendant in the meantime.
Thank you. Mr. Guerra, you did not fill out an affidavit for the public defender. What are you going to do for a lawyer?
For a lawyer, I think I'll be hiring a private attorney.
Okay, sir. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, in Your Honor, I wanted to add something just for 1 second.
Just please remember that we are being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say or ask can be used against you.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to add that I recently graduated with my CDL, and I also have proof that I just started school to finish with my high school diploma to get into trade school. And I have a job that I work from home. And I mean, you know, I have like good things going for myself right now, and I'm not a violent offender. So I'm just asking that you guys see that, you know, I'm doing things, you know, and bettering myself.
Well, sir, you're charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon, with a weapon. So that's a pretty serious accusation. What the state can or can't prove, we don't know yet. This is just about the arrest and your detention. So all those things you just mentioned to me, please share those with your attorney, and your attorney will know what to do with that information and how to get it in front of the judge who's going to be hearing this case, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And would I be able to be placed on house arrest or?
No, no. Count 1 will be stayed at 0 pending the pretrial detention hearing that will be set in front of the felony division before whom this
Sorry
case
about
will
the
be
coughing,
assigned.
guys.
Count 2 will be set at $5,000. The next count at $2,000. The next count at $5,000, and then the final count at $2,000. So 0, 5, 2, 5, 2. No contact with co-defendant. No return to the scene. No weapons or firearms. Next court date will be on demand, sir.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, will you also be doing no contact with the victim?
And I apologize. Yes, no contact with victim as well.
Your Honor, is there a date for that pretrial detention hearing?
The clerk says yes.
October 24th, courtroom 5F at 8:15 a.m.
The 24th and 5F.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Lorenzo Mayweather.
Yeah. PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Lorenzo Mayweather.
Thank you. Sir, you were arrested on 2 separate warrants, both for failure to appear. Each warrant has a $2,000 bond. The public defender's office is appointed. Next court date will be
November 7th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4E. If out on bond, November 18th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4E.
Thank you.
What that mean?
David Redmond.
I get a bond.
PD approved.
How you
Good
doing?
afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
David Driven.
Thank you. Mr. Redmond, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Your bond is set at 0. Public defender's office has been approved. Your next court date will be
Sorry. October 31st, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B. If out on bond, December 23rd, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
It's a VOP. He's got a 0 bond.
I love that you
He's
love
not going to
this.
be out. So next Thursday at jail arraignments. Thank you.
I'd love it more.
State versus Antoine Wirtz.
PD approved.
PD approved.
Good afternoon,
No
sir.
doubt.
Please say your name.
That's one works.
Why is he holding his junk? What is he doing?
Thank you.
In the
Mr. Wirtz, you
courtroom?
were arrested on a warrant
Bruh,
where the
what
judge
is he
who
doing?
issued the warrant found probable cause.
What
You
the?
have 5 counts.
Get him out of the
Armed
room.
robbery with a weapon, grand theft of under 5,000, battery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and false imprisonment. State, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has also filed a pretrial detention motion for this case, if I
Lock
may
him
approach
up.
with the motion.
Yes.
The state is asking that Your Honor hold him no bond as to count 1. He is entitled to bond on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. We would ask that not to have any contact with the co-defendant in this case and to have no contact with the victim in the meantime.
Thank you. Does the public defender's office wish to respond?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so bond in count 1 will be stayed at 0 pending the pretrial detention hearing. Bond in count 2 will be 5,000. The next one 2,000. The next one 5,000. The last one 2,000. So again, 0, 5,000, 2,000, 5,000, 2,000. No contact with the victim. No contact with any co-defendant. No return. No weapons or firearms. The charge overall will be on demand, but the pretrial detention hearing will be
If I was the judge, I'm
at
sending him into the
8:15
cage
a.m.
for that.
courtroom F.
He'll be in
5F.
the cage
sorry,
all
5F.
day.
That's okay. So the 24th at 8:15 in 5F.
Not in my court.
Thank you. Nelson Diaz.
See if this guy holds his junk.
No
too.
PD application.
Nope.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Nelson Diaz.
Mr. Diaz, you were arrested on 2 separate warrants for failure to appear at arraignment. Each of those is set at a $2,000 bond. What are you going to do for a lawyer, sir?
I filled out the paper for the public defender.
Okay, so we haven't gotten it yet. Once it gets submitted, if you qualify, the PD will be appointed for you, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, I wanted to ask you something.
Yes, please remember we're being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or ask can be used against you.
I understand. I have a failure to appear, but I've been incarcerated since March 7th of this year in Orange County.
Okay, give that info to your lawyer. Your lawyer will know what to do with that. And if that documentation can be provided, I'm sure that could be brought up in front of either me or, I guess it would be me. It wouldn't be Judge Dorn. Your last name starts with a D. Depends. I got to see how these got assigned either to her or to me. Either way, your lawyer will know what to do with it.
Okay.
Thank you. Next court date.
October 31st, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B, if out on bond. December 23rd, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B.
Thank you. Vincent Morales.
PD approved.
This is an added charge. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Vincent Morales, ma'am.
Mr. Morales, you were arrested on a warrant for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Your bond is set at $2,500. The public defender's office is appointed. Next court date.
On demand.
Thank you.
$2,500 seems a bit much.
Asia Allen.
PD approved.
Unless he was selling it. If he wasn't selling it, I think that's a bit too much. Oh, what's up,
Good afternoon.
Marianne?
Please say your name.
Asia Allen.
Thank you. Miss Allen, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. I want to ask the state if there was a typo in the booking report. It said 4-month-old child, and it tended to sound like maybe it should have said 4-year-old child.
Yes, 4 years.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't affect the probable cause. It's just, it seemed like where it said 4-month-old and then what it said next didn't seem possible. So I would assume it was supposed to be 4-year-old, and I think Miss Allen just confirmed that it's 4-year-old.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. PTR, any other history?
She only has one prior arrest, Your Honor, back in March of 2023 for battery domestic violence, which was dropped.
I'm good, Marianne. Just a bit under the weather. Hope you guys are all doing well tonight.
Hey, do we know if Department of Children and Families was notified based on the allegations of the report?
I do not have that information, Your Honor.
All right. So, Ms. Allen, your bond is going to be set at $500. No contact with the child until further court order. No return to the scene, but you can have a one-time assist order. And because the child, I would believe, based on what I read, although I don't know this for sure, may be in the temporary custody of your parents, and based on the allegations, there's no contact with your parents either. And then I would ask that PTR notify, or the state notify DCF, just because of the nature of the allegations. We're mandatory reporters.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And public defender's office was appointed. Next court date would be?
Your Honor.
Burnt red.
Your Honor,
That describes her
Sorry to
hair.
interrupt.
That's okay.
She would like to know if there's a possibility where she could contact her child through a third party.
At this time, it would probably have to be DCF. So depending on what DCF says.
All right, thank you. Your
Yeah,
Honor.
I have to notify them. I'm a mandatory reporter, and they would have to do an investigation. If they have no issue with some sort of a contact, then we can modify the conditions of release in here.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Diego Batista.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Diego Batista.
Thank you. So, Mr. Batista, you were arrested for 2 counts of violation, excuse me, hold on. 1 count of violation of a pretrial release condition on a domestic case, and then 1 count of burglary of an occupied dwelling. I read the affidavit and there is probable cause. Looks like you're also out on bond in 24 MM 2434. PTR, is there any other history?
Yes, he has history dating back to 2007 for a DUI and also battery, touch, or strike. He also has an arrest in 2017 for contempt of court and grand theft auto. And then his last arrest was in September of this year for the battery, touch, or strike that he's out on bond on.
Thank you. State, did you wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, the state did file a pretrial detention motion for the burglary of an occupied dwelling and would ask that Your Honor hold him no bond on that and order no contact with the listed victim. And the state would also be asking that you revoke the bond in 2024 MM 2434. It's the same case that he's currently out on bond with the same victim in the burglary.
Does the public defender's office wish to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor, on 2 things. It was a burglary of occupied dwelling unarmed, but also in addition to his past history, in 903.046, the criteria for bail says that it should include any records of his convictions, and it seems that we were hearing things he had been arrested for and not convicted. And, you know, I just like to put that on the record that I would object to any reading of any of the defendant's previous charges that were not convictions.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to deny the motion for pretrial detention without prejudice, but I am going to revoke 24 MM 2434 and set that at 0. Certainly, you can still have a hearing. He won't be going anywhere.
Is Your Honor not finding probable cause for the burglary of a dwelling?
I do, but the statute that you quote says the court may order pretrial detention if it finds a substantial probability based upon past and present patterns that he poses a threat to the community. The fact that he's going to be bond revoked means he's not going to be getting out.
Understood, Your Honor. The only question that I have is, it's at initial appearances, Your Honor just has to find a probable cause for the crime, and then the pretrial detention motion can be heard in front of the judge that it is in front of. I think if you're denying the pretrial detention motion right now, it prevents the state from filing it again.
Then I can either determine that I wouldn't rule upon it and let the judge before whom the felony charge is pending make that decision, if you'd like.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think there's more information that based on the criteria 907041 that I can't find at this very moment.
Yes, Your Honor.
25
because
viewers.
Since he will be bond revoked, he won't be released.
Yes, Your Honor.
But if you'd like, I can
25 viewers, but only 22 likes. Come on, people. Show some support. We got bond court on. We got another hour left, I think.
defer ruling to the judge before whom the case is pending.
Yes, I believe it's assigned to Judge Wilson.
And I wasn't aware of, so maybe this also is, I mean, for me, it's a determining consideration that this one was scheduled. If it is scheduled, then we can go forward and you all can have it.
Likes, there we go.
I don't think I understood.
Okay, I'll ask the clerk whether or not this is set. Okay, so.
Yes, we just filed it today because he was arrested last night.
Understood. All right, so I'm going to defer ruling on the motion for pretrial detention at a zero bond. I'm going to have the clerk ask to set it now with Judge Wilson. I am going to set bonds on the new arrests. The violation of PTR condition will be $2,000. No contact with victim, no return to scene. And the burglary will be set at $5,000. No contact, no return.
28
no
viewers,
weapons or
dang.
firearms.
We're blowing up
and
tonight.
I'm revoking 24 MM 2434 and setting it 0 because he was out on bond in that case when these two new law arrests came up.
Okay, so we're still setting a bond on the burglary charge.
On the new one?
Make sure that I understand. Okay.
Right.
If you're new here, this is first appearance bond court. Everyone was recently arrested and they must appear before a judge within 24 hours. all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty by a jury of their peers.
Because I'm not going to rule on setting him at a 0 where he would be entitled to a bond without the court making the findings necessary to leave him without a bond on the burglary.
Okay.
But I am revoking him on the MM. So in essence,
Not going anywhere.
yes.
Understood.
Does that make sense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Understood.
All right. So, Mr. Batista, the next court dates for you will be
October 24th, 8:15 a.m., courtroom 5F.
okay, and then there will. That's the bond, the pretrial detention hearing.
Yes.
Got it. So day after tomorrow, Judge Wilson will hear the state's motion regarding the burglary and decide if she wants to leave my bond where I set it or set it at 0. Okay. Thank you. Maria Diaz.
No PD application.
Can you repeat that name, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Maria Diaz.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Maria Diaz.
Thank you. Ma'am, you were arrested for driving under the influence. There is probable cause. PTR, any history?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, we were unable to verify her criminal history at this time.
Ma'am, how long have you lived in Kissimmee?
Since 2015.
There's no such thing as talking too much in chat. We want that chat rate as high as we can get it, baby. Keep talking. Everybody keep talking.
Do you have family here?
My daughter and my husband.
Thank you. Your bond is stayed at $1,000. Do not drive without a valid license. Do not possess or consume any alcohol. Next court date will be
October 31st, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B. If out on bond, December 23rd, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4B.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Paul Johnson.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Paul Johnson.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you were arrested for domestic violence battery and domestic battery by strangulation. There is probable cause. PTR, any other history?
Yes, Your Honor. He has history dating back to 2019 for petty theft where he was found guilty, and another petty theft where he was also found guilty.
There's people to talk to. They're just not chatting back. I don't know. We got 27 viewers. Nobody's talking. Is anybody out there? If you're in chat, say hello, please.
He also has history in 2020 for burglary of unoccupied dwelling, interfere with LEO without violence, and petty theft. He also has history in 2021 for possession of weapon, petty theft, and robbery, which was dropped. In 2022, he has trespassing where he was found guilty. Also, false imprisonment, battery by strangulation, battery, touch, or strike, and obstructing justice where it was dropped. He also has history in 2023 for obstructing without violence where he was found guilty, failure to appear where he was found guilty, conditional release violation where he was found guilty, and another FTA in December of 2023 where he was found guilty. He also has out-of-state history in Georgia dating back to 2010 for aggravated assault, knowingly driving while license suspended, terroristic threats, simple battery, and willful obstruction of law enforcement.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
State, I saw you stand and then sit. Was there something that you were going to say?
Yes, Your Honor, I was going to comply with Florida Statute 741.2901 and inform the court of everything that PTR just informed the court of.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Officer Osborne, you had mentioned there was
Joyce.
a previous accusation of battery and battery by
James.
strangulation. Do you know if it named the same listed victim?
Upon our research, it appears that it's not the same victim.
Okay. Was it domestic?
Yes, Your Honor, it was from 2008 and it was domestic.
Okay.
The one that I found.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, your bond is going to be set in count 1 at $2,500 and in count 2 at $2,500. You don't qualify for PTR. No contact with the victim and maintain a separate residence. No weapons or firearms. Next court date will be on demand. Thank you. Alex Lubo.
No PD application.
Your Honor, did we give the court date for the last defendant? I'm sorry.
It was on demand?
On demand, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Alex Lubo.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lubo, you were arrested for driving on a suspended license with knowledge with the 2 priors. You also were arrested for possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and possession of weapons or ammunitions by a convicted felon. PTR's face sheet, initial appearance info sheet, it says across the top Duelis habitual, but it's not technically. It's Duelis 2 with 2 priors. Slight difference only because HTO is a specific designation on a driving record. And then when I looked at what the officer wrote, he wrote Duelis with 3rd conviction. So there is probable cause for that. PTR, any history besides that info? If she's speaking, it's muted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was speaking. Sorry about that.
No problem.
He has history dating back to 2004 for marijuana distribution. In 2014, knowingly driving while license suspended. He also has a failure to appear. In 2020, he has marijuana possession, which was no action. Driving while license suspended, revoked, 3rd subsequent, which was found guilty. And drug equipped possessed, which was no action. In 2021, he has obstructing without violence, which was guilty. Drugs possessed, which was guilty, and marijuana possession, which was no action. He also has history in 2018 for explosive using, where he was sentenced to 60 months probation, it appears. And he also received a violation of probation.
On-demand court date, I believe that just means that the court will send a letter usually to the defendant, and they notify them that they have to appear on that certain date. So if they say on demand, I think it means they don't have the date yet, but they will send it to them. And if they don't appear, then they'll get a bench warrant and they'll be back in jail.
2019.
Again, Your Honor, I would object to the reading of charges that the defendant was not convicted of under statute 903-046.
Thank you. Mr. Lubo, your bond in the suspended license charge is going to be stayed at $2,500. And then your bonds in the other charges, the marijuana will be set at 1,000, the paraphernalia will be set at 1,000, and the possession of firearm or ammunition by convicted felon will be set at 5,000. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you.
Next date.
Jasmine Maxwell.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Jasmine Maxwell.
Miss Maxwell, you were arrested for domestic violence battery. I read the affidavit and there is probable cause. PTR?
She only has 1 prior arrest back in December of 2022 for failure to appear out of Orange County, where she was found guilty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Maxwell, your bond is going to be set at $1,000. You don't qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to order no contact with the victim. Maintain a separate residence. No weapons or firearms. State?
I think emotions just got the best of her. I'd let her go. Let her out.
Your Honor, I believe the victim is present and wishes to be heard as to contact.
Okay,
Well,
I will
well,
just
you're
need
now.
the person to come up with an ID so I can verify identification. All right.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm not able to then confirm that he is the person who's named in the booking report without prejudice.
Understood.
All right. Thank you. Next court date on demand. State versus Alini Navarro.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Good afternoon, Alini Navarro.
Thank you. So, Ms. Navarro, what it says on the paperwork here is you were arrested for driving on a suspended license with knowledge, a 3rd or subsequent violation. I'm going to ask the state attorney, where does it say in the booking report that she's had 2 other convictions?
Your Honor, I do not see it other than inside the parentheses, saying 2 prior convictions and 3rd subsequent.
Right. I saw that too, but that to me looked like a legal conclusion.
Yes, no, I'm not arguing that it is anywhere other than right there.
Okay, so I don't know anything else about her abilities to remain law-abiding or her having to come back to court, and if that's at risk. I can find probable cause for driving on a suspended with knowledge, but not the F3.
Yeah, the state would just argue that there is PC for a normal driving while license is suspended with knowledge. I don't have any additional information, and I don't think that I should ask for 24 hours where she'd be essentially held no bond while waiting, or
Well, she has a
$2,500
bond, yeah.
There's no reason to hold her any longer with a higher bond.
Okay, let me ask Ms. Navarro, how long have you lived in Orlando?
Since about 2019.
Okay, and PTR, my question is, any evidence of failures to appear for court?
No, Your Honor, she does not have any failure to appear.
All right, so I find probable cause for driving on a suspended with knowledge, but as of right now, all I have is the M2 qualification, so the least included in that designation. Bond will be set at $500. Do not drive without a valid license. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you.
$500 bond.
Carson Nichols.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
It's Carson Nichols.
Sir.
Thank you. Ms. Nichols, you're here for arraignment. The arrest was for domestic violence battery. There is probable cause. PTR, any history?
She has an arrest in February of 2022 for possession of controlled substance, which was no action, and possession of cocaine, where she received pretrial diversion. In 2022, she also has another possession of cocaine, which she was found guilty.
Ms. Nichols, your bond is going to be set at $500. You don't qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim. You can have an assist order one time to go back and get your personal items. No return otherwise. No weapons or firearms. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you. Katrina O'Hanlon.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Katrina O'Hanlon.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack.
Ms. O'Hanlon, you were arrested for battery.
How you doing
There
tonight?
is probable cause. PTR, any other history?
She has no prior arrest, Your Honor.
She does not qualify for PTR, correct? Because of the nature of the charge?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Based on what I read in the affidavit, bond is going to be set at $500. Maintain a separate residence. No weapons or firearms. No contact with victim. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you.
May she have a one-time return with law enforcement, Your Honor, to get any of her belongings?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that if she lives there, I wrote not DV because it was a little sketchy. It was a hotel room, if I can tell. So I don't know if she's been trespassed. She's going to need to check with the hotel.
They want him gone, not me.
Okay, but the judge is saying you can't.
Just letting her know.
That's where I live.
Okay. So you can go back one time with law enforcement to get your belongings. Thank you. Rigoberto Perez.
PD approved.
Oh man. Not gonna be a good time.
Thank you. Mr. Perez, you were arrested for DUI and for DUI with property damage. There is probable cause. PTR?
Yes, Your Honor. He has history dating back to 2018 for marijuana possession, drug possess, another marijuana possession charge, evidence destroying, smuggled contraband and hallucinogen possession, which was no prize. He also has a violation of probation in 2019. And in 2021, he has aggravated assault with a weapon, battery ×3, resisting officer with violence, which was dropped. He also has another arrest in 2021 for a battery, which was no action, and resisting officer without violence, where it was adjudicated withheld.
This guy's got
Thank
quite the
you.
history.
You're welcome.
Bond in the DUI will be set at $1,000. The DUI property damage will be set at $1,500. No driving without a valid license. Do not possess or consume any alcohol. Next court date will be
October 31st, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4B. If out on bond, November 20th, 8:30 a.m. courtroom 4E.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jessica Puckett.
PD approved.
How many do we have today?
Judge,
34.
Judge wants to go home.
She's approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, Jack. Please smash that like button. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Jessica Paquette.
Ms. Paquette, you are here because you were arrested for resisting without violence and trespass. There is probable cause. PTR.
She has history dating back to 2007 for a municipal ordinance violation. In 2013, she has DUI, drug equipped possessed, marijuana possession, and obstructing without violence. In Georgia, in 2008, she has a driving while license suspended revoked and the DUI. In Pennsylvania, in 2023, she has disarmed law enforcement officer where she was sentenced to probation. She also has disorderly conduct and public drunkenness where she received no prize. In 2023, she also has 2 counts of trespass where she was found guilty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, your bonds are going to be stayed. You have $500 in the resisting, $250 in the trespass. I'm going to order that you not return to the stayable suites and that you not possess or consume any alcohol.
Not a problem. Yes, ma'am. One question.
Yes, just please remember we're being recorded. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say or ask can be used against you.
But the things, all of my things were taken out. I have a van full of items, and they were taken out by the police officer and put on the side of the building. Now, I'm not sure if my things are still there. Is it a way that I can have like a one-way call in and say, do you still have my things? Because the police officer just left them on the side of the road.
If they are on
the side of the building, I mean.
If they are on the side of the building that is not part of the curtilage of the property, then that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, but it is part of the property, so I would have to have.
I don't know that it is. I mean, you can go with law enforcement if you want to see if your items are there, and you can retrieve them if they.
Okay, and then I can also contact Carlos Cuencas in regards to seeing if he picked my items back up and put them back in the room.
Can I say that again? Can you say that again?
Is that the alleged victim?
That's the alleged victim.
No, you can't have any contact with him at all.
No, but he didn't request for no contact.
It doesn't matter the gender.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. So the conditions are no contact, no return, no alcohol. Are you adding a one-time return?
So I'm allowing her a one-time return with law enforcement. I guess my hesitation is I don't know that they're going to want to do that, because if it was put out to the side of the road, I don't know how somebody claims ownership to that. But if she wants to try and pay for law enforcement to go with her, I don't have an objection to that. She just otherwise can't return to the property of the stayable suites. I am not imposing no contact with the person who was also in the room, but she can't go back to the room or the property. You're welcome. Sorry if I confused you.
Not a problem. I'll just give law enforcement visa for the particular one.
Yes.
Thank you. Dorothy Rodriguez.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No PD application.
Those Crocs. Those look like Crocs.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Please say your name.
Dorothy Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, you were arrested for failure to report change of vehicle ownership and failure to provide re-registration information as somebody who is convicted and obligated to make those reports. There is probable cause. PTR, any other history?
She has history dating back to 2011 in regards to the charge that she's arrested for. Also in 2021 for offender violation, which was dropped. She also has violation of probation in 2021 where she was found guilty.
Bond in count 1 is going to be set at $1,000. Bond in count 2 is going to be set at $1,000. You are not to leave Osceola County without permission of the court. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you. Joe Schugert.
PD approved.
Good afternoon. Please say your name.
Yes, you are.
Sir, you were arrested for possession of methamphetamine and possession of paraphernalia. There is probable cause. PTR, any other conviction history? Or failures to appear or failures to abide by lawful court order?
He does have a failure to appear out of North Carolina dated back to 2012, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, how long have you lived in Kissimmee?
3 years.
Bonds are stayed, 2,500 count 1, 500 count 2. I'm just going to order that you not possess or consume any illegal substances.
Okay.
Next court date.
On demand.
Thank you.
Got a lot of people today.
Darren Valens.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
Darren Valens.
Mr. Valens, you were arrested on 2 separate counts of false name or ID by an arrestee. There is probable cause. PTR, any other history? I think I read in the booking reports that he had some warrants out of Orange County.
Your Honor, I don't have any information about warrants out of Orange County, but he does have history dating back to 2018 for drugs possessed without prescription, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, battery, touch or strike, and resisting officer with violence and cruelty towards child. He also has history out of Indiana dating back to 2003 for theft, possession of a handgun without permit, corrupt business influence, theft. In Illinois, dating back to 2003, he has burglary several times, theft, and retail theft.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, he also has history out of Ohio, dating back to 2003 for possessing of drugs and engaging in matter of corrupt activity.
Sir, your bond in the first case number is going to be set at $1,500, and your bond in the second case number is going to be set at $1,500. Next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you. Devoris Timau.
No PD application.
He's approaching, Your Honor.
No problem. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Please say your name.
DeVoris Marcellus Timur.
Sir, you were arrested for battery and for false imprisonment. I've read the affidavit and I find probable cause. PTR.
Is the battery by touch or strike, correct?
Unlawful touch or strike, yes.
All right.
All right, he has history dated back to 2018, which consists of criminal mischief, where he was found guilty, burglary of an occupied dwelling, unarmed, where he was found guilty, battery on specified personnel, where he was found guilty, obstruct without violence, guilty.
I'm gonna keep the stream running, but I gotta go lay in my bed. I'm in a lot of pain.
2020, he has aggravated battery, where he was found guilty and sentenced to prison. In 2022, he has homicide, which was dropped. He also has a violation of probation where he was found guilty. In 2023, he has petty theft where he was found guilty. 2024, he has criminal mischief where he was found guilty, and petty theft where he was found guilty.
Sir, your bond in count 1 is going to be set at $2,500, and your bond in count 2 is going to be set at $10,000. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You may not return to the Circle K that is listed in the booking report. Your next court date will be?
On demand.
Thank you. Okay, so the last person is the defendant who I was told needed a trilingual interpreter, which would indicate foreign language and also ASL.
Yes.
The clerk told me at approximately 11 o'clock when they brought up my paperwork, and we immediately notified court administration. I did say that I'd be happy to try and do it via video if that was the only way they could get an ASL interpreter here. And I just sent a message to my JA asking for any updates. So I'm waiting to hear whether or not we've gotten any kind of yes, no, do it like this.
Okay.
Does the public defender know if Miss Flores can read?
She can read Spanish. She can read Spanish, Your Honor.
And can she read lips? Like if somebody speaks to her in Spanish, can she read lips?
She said no. No, Your Honor.
No. Okay, so let me check my emails. I don't know all the intricacies of it, but reading what I was told, the court administration people want to hear from the judge, not from the clerk. The clerk finds out from the jail, so it goes from the jail to the clerk, from the clerk to the judge, from the judge to court admin. So I tried to follow that, and now I'm just waiting to hear from court admin.
Okay, I know that normally
go
it
ahead.
takes a little bit of time. I know that we have a plea to do. And then if not, sometimes with the ASL, we have had to reset them for 24 hours because it's difficult to get the ASL interpreter sometimes.
Right, and I am not going to impose upon the public defender, but if it's something that you would like to do, we can try to write some things out for her so she doesn't feel completely lost about what's going on.
I have a lovely lady in here from PTR who speaks Spanish, who normally helps me out with things like that, so I could ask her to help.
Okay, so let me just, like you said, let me put this case on standby for a moment. I have a plea for Devontae Martin and assigned to my division that I said I would take this afternoon right at IA time, and then I can hopefully hear back on the trilingual interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
No, you can stay right there. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's fine. You can keep doing what you're doing. So, and again, I emailed Lisa. I'm waiting to hear if she's gotten any updates. I do have a Teams link that we created. The only problem with Teams is it comes through my computer, and I don't know how to add the jail to it unless they give me an email address. Then I can send them an email link. All right. So Devontae Martin, 24mm 1986. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please say your name?
Devontae Martin.
Appearance of counsel for the defense.
Yes, Janelle Clark on behalf of Michelle Quintero on behalf of Mr. Devontae Martin in 24mm 1986, Your Honor.
And for the state?
Jay Lewis for the state, Your Honor.
Thank you. It's my understanding that Mr. Martin would like to enter a change of plea to the charges of providing false ID and discharging a firearm in public. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Martin would like to plead no contest in exchange for adjudication, credit time served, court cost, PD lien, and for counts 1 and 2 to run concurrent.
State, can you confirm for the record that that was your offer?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
And as of what the clerk gave me, Mr. Martin should have approximately 76, 77 days credit time served as of today?
88.
88, Mr. Martin says.
All right. Let me look and see. Let me ask the clerk to calculate, because as of October 17th, he had 73 days. So I have to add 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 more days. So that'd be 78. But let me let her do the math just to make sure, because that's her thing. All right. Mr. Martin, I don't think really that it makes that big of a difference, because whatever the number is, it's credit time served according to the offer. So even if I said it was 2 days, you have more than 2 days.
Yes,
If I
Your
say
Honor,
it.
I just explained it to him. He said he understood.
All right. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand. Mr. Martin, the public defender should have a plea form there with your name on it. Did you sign that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the rights that are in the form?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do you need any more time to speak with your lawyer?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like anybody forced you to make the decision you're making?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Are you acting under the influences of any types of medications, drugs, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
If you are not a U.S. citizen, entering a plea is a basis to have you deported. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And are you willing today to enter this plea and resolve your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
No contest?
Oh, no contest. I'm sorry.
State, if we proceeded to trial, do you believe your evidence would show that on August 6th, 2024, in Osceola County, Florida, after being arrested or while lawfully detained, this defendant falsely identified himself to law enforcement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you be able to show on that same date in Osceola County, Florida, this defendant knowingly discharged a firearm in public, or on any paved public road, highway, street, or occupied premises?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to dispute the factual basis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Martin, I find that you are alert and intelligent, that you understand what's going on, that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, that I have a sufficient factual basis, and I will accept it. Pursuant to negotiations, it's going to be an adjudication of guilt on count 1 and count 2. It's going to be 78 days count 1 and 78 days count 2, concurrent with credit for 78 days time served. Court costs on count 1 are $271. In count 2, it's $52.50, and I will assess a $150 public defender lien. Just report to the clerk's office within 30 days of your release to set up a payment plan. You have 30 days to appeal your sentence. All appeals must be in writing, and if you cannot afford a lawyer, I will appoint one if you qualify. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let me check my emails. And I got nothing. Let me call Lisa.
Your Honor.
Yes?
Hi, this is Officer Ospina with PTR. I just spoke with the defendant. I was writing back and forth with her.
Okay.
She understands pretty well that way, and she would like to not be reset. Are you okay with proceeding that way, or?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see if we have any input from the ASL Spanish interpreter, because we may be able to still accomplish this with an interpreter.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks. Hi there. Any updates from the trilingual interpreter? Right, I saw Teams. I just don't know how to send it to the jail. In other words, it'll show up on my computer, but I have to connect the jail to it. So I'm going to see if they have an email address we can use. No, that's okay. I'll figure it out. Thank you. Bye. So what they've done is they've set it up. Lisa set it up through Teams. Is there an email for the jail setup right there that we might be able to connect you to?
Are you talking to?
I'm talking to the jail. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Usually within a sign language interpreter, they pop up here on the screen.
Yeah, but that's WebEx, right?
I'm not sure.
All right, give me a second. I don't know.
Would you like me to try to contact IT?
No.
Okay.
Give me one sec.
Okay.
Oh, stop sharing. Okay, that's not the right way to do it. Okay. There's nobody in this meeting, this link. Interesting. It's saying, hey, hang tight. Somebody will let you into the meeting in a minute. That's not how it's supposed to work. Join meeting now. Excuse me? No, hold on. It says waiting for others to join. I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, the volume works. Well, there's nobody on the meeting from the sign interpreter that I can see. Yeah, this isn't going to work. For some reason, it didn't set up correctly. I see Lisa in the meeting, but I don't know how to send it to the jail. Normally, you could do like invite or share link. Copy join info. Hi there. So we're waiting for the trilingual interpreter. How do we do this?
So to do this, we're gonna have to, it's pretty simple. You create a personal room on WebEx, and then you send in the invitation, and then we can join it with the jail. The jail will be able to see everything.
Okay. So I don't know. Lisa, do you have an email address for the interpreter that we can send a WebEx invitation to? If you're speaking, I can't hear you. All right, try again. I still can't hear you. I'm going to call you on the phone. This is unnecessarily more complicated than it needs to be. We could put people, we could send ships to Mars. I'm really starting to think that was all a conspiracy theory. That was like. No, okay. Here, I just want to speak with Do you have IT's here? IT's here.
Okay.
All I want to know is, do you have an email address or a contact info for the interpreter so that we can send it to her, the WebEx thing?
She only has a general interpreter. All emails are annoying, so she said. They include for documents everybody at the jail.
But they don't have a device there to be able to do Teams.
Yeah, Teams. No, but if we have an interpreter, I can make it happen.
Right. Give me a second.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter, and I have been previously sworn.
Thank you, Ms. Brewer. Can you help me with something? I have a question. I'm doing the first appearances, we have a Spanish Sign Language interpreter that could be available through WebEx, but I don't know how to send the link to WebEx, from WebEx to that interpreter. Because all we have is you guys' information.
Correct. Your Honor, I apologize. I don't have the technological know-how to be able to, my only suggestion would be perhaps have the clerk call our office and perhaps they can provide a link that would work better.
No worries. Thank you for trying, though. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, bye. I have the number. Hey, good afternoon. It's Judge Yansevich in Osceola. Hi. So we were trying to arrange for a sign language Spanish speaking interpreter, and I was told one could be available via video. And we sent a Teams link, but Teams isn't working. So I have IT here with WebEx that we can send it, but we don't know where to send the link. So I didn't know if I said, because all the email addresses we have is your office, the interpreter office. What is the email address? jcc.org. Okay, so we're going to send that now, and then will somebody there be on the lookout and send it to the sign interpreter? Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got a little bit kind of wires crossed. So thank you so much. All right, bye. So we can send the WebEx info to interpreter. So how do we do it? Through here?
I have the link here on my computer and I'll send it to you.
All right, so do you going to send it to me?
Yeah.
How does this work? To my email?
Yep.
Okay. But we're not going to be able to do it on this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just sent you the link, Judge.
all right. Jonathan Castillo. All right. Launch meeting.
Well, just have to send it. I'll take care of the rest. There's some stuff I need to do.
Install or save. Okay.
So I'm gonna disconnect this jail.
It says welcome, so I have to.
It's okay. You just have to forward it to them.
This, can I? Never mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be on the lookout for whenever they do.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So after all that, I was told nobody's available.
Okay.
Después de todo eso, me dicen que no.
Practice.
Practice, yeah.
Practice.
Gracias. When I'm not under pressure, it comes out okay. No, we're not gonna reset it. We're gonna, for right now, we're gonna go forward with writing it down. Because I don't want this lady to have to wait any longer. All right. But thank you. She will at some point probably need one, like for arraignment or what have you. So, is the jail still good? You're still with me?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Awesome. And then the public defender's still there, so the court is gonna call Lucia Flores de Gomez.
Yes, ma'am. Over. Maria.
What?
I was trying to see if she was gonna go over there.
Are you gonna write down what's said?
Everything.
Okay.
Okay, so ma'am, you were arrested for domestic violence, battery by strangulation. And a second count of domestic violence.
1 second, Your Honor, I'll tell you when she finishes writing that.
No problem, yes, I just wanted to put it both out there so you could write it together.
And then did you get, she said, okay.
And for domestic violence, a second count for domestic violence. And there is probable cause for the arrest.
Okay, Your Honor. Okay.
The named victim is her son, adult son.
Okay, Your Honor.
Because she doesn't qualify for PTR, I'm gonna set her a bond.
She can go ahead.
Okay, you can go ahead, Your Honor.
PTR, did she have any convictions for aggression or failures to appear?
She does have prior arrests dating back to 2004 for battery, touch, or strike and cruelty towards child.
May I ask if that was a conviction?
Unfortunately, I don't have that information.
A state attorney just stood up, so I'm gonna see if she
Your
can tell me the
Honor,
answer.
I'm only bringing this up because defense counsel keeps bringing it up. Whenever it's a domestic violence case, there's a statute specifically on point, and it requires the state to inform of any arrest, even if it is not a conviction, and that is Florida statute 741.290.290.1, and it specifically says that when setting up, this information shall be presented at first appearance, when setting a bond, when passing sentence, or consideration of the court for any DV case, and it includes all prior arrests for domestic charges, non-domestic charges, injunctions for protection against domestic violence, and repeat violence.
You're correct.
Your Honor, so I just want to make sure I was correct in what I heard the state say. It's 741.290?
741.2901.
Okay, thank you.
So do we know if the previous battery on child was a conviction?
I don't believe that was conviction.
Okay.
Just on my
I'm just
own
curious.
personal review of her criminal history.
Right, to answer that. Okay.
And I just wanted to set straight for the record, the only reason why I asked this last time here, if it was a conviction, Your Honor, is because you stated any prior conviction specifically. So I just wanted to know if it was conviction also.
Understood. Thank you. So bond in count one is going to be set at $2,000. And bond in count two is going to be set at $2,000. No contact with the victim. And for so long as he's still living at the house, she can't go back to live there. Now, if her husband chooses to tell the son to leave, I'm not telling him to leave, but if the husband tells him to leave, then once confirmed that the son is no longer living there, I don't have an objection to her living there.
So the condition will be, Your Honor, maintain separate residence?
Yes.
Okay.
And she can have an assist order to get her personal things if she wants. And no weapons or firearms. Did we say the PD was appointed? Yeah, PD is appointed, and next court date will be on demand. Thank you for everybody's patience with all this. If the public defenders know that you are not going to be waiving arraignment, assuming the state files charges, if you're not waiving arraignment, can you please let us know as soon as possible so that we can order the interpreter for you?
Yes, Your Honor, as, I tried to email them as soon as possible about.
No, I mean the public defender.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If the state files charges.
Yes.
And you're not wanting to waive arraignment, please let us know as soon as you know the arraignment date gets set so we can order the signed interpreter for your arraignment.
Oh, yes, okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow at 1.
Thank you.
We are adjourned until tomorrow morning at 8:25 for my division, and we are recessed for IAs till 1 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock.
All right, are you Ms. Baker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Hey guys, looks like the stream is over. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys in the next episode.